One of the questions that was recently messaged to me said this: what can I do to speed up the trust building process with my potential customer? Well, this is a really good question. It also highlights a problem that's happening right now. You see, the consumer is smarter than they've ever been before. Your consumer, by the time you talk to your consumer or prospect, they have already researched you and your competitor. They have already made a decision where you rank on their competition, where you rank compared to your competitors. The days of us approaching a prospect that doesn't know anything about our company or our product are very slim now. Information is easily accessible to everyone. This makes the trust building process incredibly important, even more so now than ever before. There's two ways you can build trust with your prospect, and one is personal and one is professional. Let's talk about them both. If you build personal trust with your prospect, the end result is they see you as a human. They see you just like them. You see, when we're sales reps, we want to sell our product or service so bad, we sometimes word vomit or feature dump, and we try to just get all the information out and tell our prospects why our product is so good, so great, they need it. What we don't ever do in that trust building process is we don't do an adequate rapport building section, but that's not enough. That's really not enough for you to build trust. For you to build trust on a personal level, you have to use a personal story and use vulnerability. By you demonstrating you're vulnerable and sharing a personal story with your prospect, they're naturally going to want to do the same thing in return. It's the law of reciprocity. So if I share a personal story with my prospect, it could be anything as long as it's relevant to the conversation we're having today. How was your weekend? If my prospect talks to me about their weekend, about their family, or they did nothing, or they went somewhere with their wife, whatever they did, I'm going to find a way to relate that and share a personal story immediately. Not a long story, but just something enough that this prospect sees me as a human. You see, I have to build that trust that I'm not a robotic salesperson, that I'm just not a commission junkie here trying to make money. So I use personal stories that demonstrate vulnerability to get my prospect to do the same thing. It is how we build a personal level of trust. Now, look, just because you build that personal trust doesn't mean they're going to buy your stuff. It doesn't mean you're going to get the sale. So how do we build professional trust? Well, when you build professional trust, it goes back to the skills and laws of influencing somebody. Professional trust is built using one of multiple strategies. We will highlight a few of them right now. One, you build professional trust by having social proof. You can use third-party stories, you can use case studies, you can use examples to show your prospect other prospects who've been successful or who've enjoyed your product or service. You have to have social proof. This is testimonials, reviews online, video series, whatever you can get that can show your prospect that another prospect benefited from your product or service. That will help build professional trust. Another example that you can use to demonstrate that will bring a professional level of trust immediately is by the questions you ask your prospect. If you're asking questions on information that can be found online in advance, you're not building trust. Your prospect wants to know that you are prepared for that appointment. So if I ask questions that demonstrate I've done my homework to be in front of this prospect, I'm building professional trust because now they know I take this appointment seriously. If you ever find yourself asking a question to a prospect that can easily be found online, you are not building trust. Matter of fact, you're doing the exact opposite. You are telling your prospect that you didn't care enough about this appointment to do the simple research that they already did. Now, look, just because you build professional trust and personal trust doesn't mean you're going to close every sale. However, this is a long ball game. Some sales are one call closes. Some sales are multiple call closes. Well, the thing that has to remain constant is we're building trust each and every step of the way. So using personal stories to demonstrate you're a trustworthy person. or using social proof and adequate research can help build the professional trustworthiness. Those two things are great, but those two things will not get you every sale. If you find yourself building trust but not closing those sales, reach out to me. I'd love to help you out. You can get a hold of me. All the contact information is below. If you're watching the video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, comments to get notified when the next video comes out. I'm Anthony Garcia. That's what I got for you this week. I'll see you next week.